It's time for some great short track racing at Sunset Speedway in Innisfil, Ontario. Get ready for some heart-pounding action with their highly competitive hot rod division, featuring also bone stocks, modifieds, junior late models, super stocks, my personal favorite, the mini stocks, and pro late models. Don't miss out on their yearly classics, including the Hanley Classic, the Steve Slaughter Classic, Allen Lincoln Cup, and many more exciting events. We want to see more of those cool power drag races. Visit sunsetspeedway.ca for ticket information and head to the track for an unforgettable racing experience. Looking to level up your race car's look in 2025? Well, look no further than Imagewraps.ca. The team of Craig and Doug Hamrath specializes in creating amazing, detailed, and creative graphic designs and wraps that are sure to turn heads at the racetrack. As huge supporters of motorsports, Imagewraps.ca understands the importance of having eye-catching and unique designs to stand out from the competition while showcasing your amazing partners. Trust us for the best deals and quality in the business to give your ride that winning edge. You have to visit Imagewraps.ca today and let them take your racing experience to the next level.
Machines and the thrill we find. KMK and Braden taking the reins. Grit and glory racing through the veins. Stickers and scuffs revving in high. Motors roaring, the sparks will fly. Talking to legends, stories unfold. The need for speed never gets old. Never gets old. Engines scream as the questions roll, chasing the edge with a heart of coal. From the asphalt kings to the dirt track dust, racers unite in the name of trust. Stickers and scuffs revving in high, motors roaring, the sparks will fly.
Hey, welcome back to the Stickers and Scuffs podcast for Sunset Speedway month. It wouldn't be Sunset Speedway if we didn't get somebody from the bone stock, the junior Haulage bone stocks, and he's one of the most excitable guys, especially when he wins. We've seen that a couple of times. Last time it was kind of a win, and then it wasn't, but it was still an amazing finish. And probably, I'm going to argue, it's got to be one of the closest finishes in the bone stocks history, probably at Sunset. Jordan Owen of the number 68 is here. We call him Hot Wheels for good reason. He goes out there and puts on a good show, and that race, man, that you had with Matt McGrath was wow. That was fun.
Oh, no.
Let's talk about that, because it looked like it was yours, and then it looked like it wasn't yours, then it looked like it was yours again, and then officially it wasn't yours. So how was it behind the wheel, man? That looks like it was a lot of fun.
Well, I thought that it was actually a really fun race. I did enjoy being a part of that battle, to be honest with you. And like you, I thought that I had won it too. But I mean, you could see it in the pictures that a lot of people would say that I won that race. But I go to tech and they say, it was because of the transponder placement and everything. So eventually, they gave the win to McGrath.
Yeah.
So I did what I had. So what I did was I did what I had to do, and I congratulated him in victory lane after everyone in the grandstands was gone. We basically had like a friendly rivalry, so to speak.
Yeah.
I found that I did the right thing there with him. And I highly respect him as a driver, as well as everyone else on SKLD Motorsports. Those guys are some of the best people that you could ever meet.
They really are.
100%.
Yeah, they really are.
I did have to admit, I was so devastated though when I found out that I lost that race.
Hmm.
I I, I remember not being able to sleep for a couple nights.
Hmm.
I just
Yeah.
I
It
just
does
could
like just because you like the people that beat you doesn't mean it's an easier pill to swallow, right, man?
exactly. Exactly. I mean, even the pros, the professional race car drivers, those up there like that are like high up, like NASCAR, IndyCar, Formula One, or whatever. They'll tell you that sometimes it is hard being a good sport,
Oh yeah.
Hmm.
but especially when you come so close to that win.
Yeah.
And but I did my part because I know I highly respect every single person on SKLD Motorsports,
When
from Austin Jeanette to Carly Willman, Matt McGrath, and
yeah.
Doug, Laura, Cheyenne, everybody.
Yeah.
But
And
yeah,
then you know that they're the type of people, and that's what we've talked with about before, is they're the type of people that would, if you ran into trouble, they're the type that'll help you out.
For
And
sure.
you it was I don't know what the official, I'm gonna try and go back and see if I can find the official timing because it was insane. I was right there taping the end. I wish I was paying attention and
It was
filming the
damn
right spot,
close.
but it
Yeah.
was I think it came down like literally is because you had the Pontiac nose on it, so you have the kick out of the Pontiac nose, but where your transponder was like because your car's longer. I think that's what it came down to, which again, like it seems the bone stock division. You've been in a couple of these with last year it was you, Reeser, Allard, and Phil Givens were in a amazing battle for like 5 laps straight. You were like three wide, up high, down low, all over the place. These cars look like they're so fun to drive there. How did you get started in this? Because I have a feeling like you started as a fan. Am I right?
I sure did. I actually wanted to be a race car driver ever since I was like a toddler.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
Actually,
buddy.
yeah. So I remember, see, I remember when I was 4 months old. Well, I don't remember it. My mom tells me that I was 4 months old. I was sitting in my high chair one time, and my mom showed me a Hot Wheels car and spun the tires on it. And that was the first time I ever laughed. I absolutely thought it was the most hilarious thing in the world. And so I became a toddler, and I had this little I had this little Mega Blocks train. It was like a ride on Mega Blocks train, and you could propel it with your feet and everything. But I used to go up and down my parents' house, and at each end of the hallway, I just do a 180 drift and go back down the other way. And so I did announce when I was in senior kindergarten to a whole entire gymnasium of parents, teachers, and students. I announced that I wanted to be a race car driver. And so another thing that I did was when I eventually went into elementary school, I actually went to Holly Meadows, just down the street from where I live. Um, we had the schoolyard, and so we had this little DPA program or daily physical activity. And anytime my class went out there, we had this jogging track that we had.
Yeah.
And so I always used to run around it with my class, pretending I was a NASCAR driver. And so,
This is
but
so familiar, Graydon, isn't it? I feel like I did the same thing.
Yeah, this is like a uniting of kindred spirits here, I feel like.
but yeah,
So it
and
started
then
right from there, eh? Right from a toddler, and now you're racing around in kindergarten. Where do you go from there?
so my mom actually, when I started high school, she actually got me a wag jag for Christmas. It was a one for like kart start
Hmm.
and their Canadian karting league. And
Yep.
so I had my first season there in 2013, and I actually went on to win the championship there. And I actually won two more championships in 2015 and 2016 with them. And then the league moved down to Gamebridge, and
Hmm.
I tried in 2019 to get back into karting, but um, we like the owner of that track. I mean, we had, we didn't have the same views on things. But
Okay.
anyway, um, so I'm talking with my mom and my dad, and they're like, I would really, they would really like to see me in a race car. So
Mhm.
I decided, you know what? Let's go do that. Let's go save some money, and then we'll buy a race car. And so I decided that I was going to do that, and then I saved up, and eventually in 2020 I bought my first. It was a red and yellow Hyundai Tiburon, and
Nice.
it was it was it was so it was a good starting car,
Mhm.
and I actually, it was a fast car too. I mean, it would go on the rev limiter, and all you'd hear me going down the front stretch. You would see me pass it like into the and just going up into the turns. But what? So it was a good car. I actually managed to pick up a couple heat race wins on it, and so during that off season, well, towards the end of it, my buddy Mike Robinson Jr. texted me,
Mhm.
and so um, he um, he basically showed me a picture of the Cobalt that I have right now,
Yeah.
and so he was all over me getting this car, saying that it was really fast and everything. Um, and so um, I decided, you know what, let's give it a try. And so come the start of 2022, I go in and I win the first feature of the season, and I edged out Brandon Steele, and I never thought I'd do that. Never
That's
thought I would
amazing.
do that.
Yeah.
I mean, here's me starting out in bone stocks with a new car, and I just I just waxed the I didn't wax the field. It took me a couple laps to get to the front, but I eventually caught up to Brandon Steele on lap, what was it, like 10 or so, and I just said, you know what, this might be my time to shine. So why don't I just go for it? And so I decided I was gonna just dive onto the inside of him and pass him, and then I took the checkered flag from there. But
Man,
I can't
that's sorry, go ahead, Jordan.
I can't I can't go without thanking my dad for all this, because he's had a major role in getting me into this. You
Mhm.
see, when like I was the only when I started, I was the only person in my entire family that loved racing. I didn't even come from a racing background. I was the only person that my parents knew that was into racing was a guy named Rob Matta, and my mom's still best friends with him.
Mhm.
She first became friends with his wife, Connie, and so he back in the day he raced go karts just like I did, and he um he basically moved up to midgets, and he did make a Sunset appearance.
Mhm.
Eventually, he ended up in the Players Challenge Series racing an IROC Camaro.
Oh,
Holy crap.
He basically the Players Challenge was basically almost like the Bone Stocks, but with V8s.
yeah.
And so they were basically, you don't like, it was like a two make racing series. You had the Pontiac Trans Ams, and then you had the IROCs.
Hmm.
Mhm.
So he used to race in there. I mean, he got out of it because it was too expensive, but he still does have his helmet sitting in his basement in Brampton somewhere. But anyways, me and my dad, we went into this whole racing deal alone.
Mhm.
See, we didn't even know anybody yet, and
Hmm.
he was the one that helped. He's the one that basically runs the operations around here.
Right.
Really helpful. I cannot thank him enough. Um, I love him. I love him so much. He's done a lot for me in my racing career. Um,
Oh
Like,
man, you're just you telling your story, man. Throughout it's just so organic and heartfelt. That's something that we absolutely love, man. And me personally, when I feel that vibe of just something that you've always wanted to do, and then when you get the opportunity to do it, it's like you're a duck in water. Am I right?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
he's not
really is.
hot duck. He's not hot duck Owen though. He's Hot
No,
Wheels
no,
Owen.
it's just like it's just you click with your people and you really like I might not light the world on fire exactly like a Jordan Owen or whatever, but it's just like when you slide through that window and into a seat and you buckle in and everything else in the world completely disappears for that time that you're out there for a heat or a feature or whatever, and you just go to work and have that laser focus on something that you just wanted so bad that that's an unparalleled feeling. Am I right?
It sure is. I mean, I I do have to admit when I do like when I began, I used to like when I wait on that make ready shoot,
Yeah.
I do have to admit that I get really really nervous, and you're just sitting in a seat, just sitting there on the backstretch, just your butt's absolutely killing you, and
Yeah.
you're nervous as
And
hell.
puckered, am I right?
Yeah, yeah, exactly, pucker. But um, I used to get extremely nervous while waiting on that make ready shoot.
Hmm.
Um, I did like you like even even like I said, like the professionals, they'll tell you they get extremely nervous. Even people that are outside of racing,
Hmm.
NFL, NHL, they get nervous before a big game.
Of course.
But
Mhm.
what really helped me was knowing who I was racing against.
Yes.
See, like if I knew that I was racing against a good group of people, they're not getting into people, causing wrecks and everything. I'm cool with those guys,
Yep.
Mhm.
every single one of them. And like I have here, like right now we have an extremely a small field this year, but a good field of racers. You know, they
Mhm.
they they race others with respect,
Yep.
Hmm.
right? And like racing, I once was in the grandstands one season. I was there for an APC series race, and um, I was listening to Adam Ross explaining how racing is a self cleaning sport. It's simple. Um,
Yeah.
if you're out there and you're causing trouble, you're getting into people.
A dart without feathers, if you will.
Yeah, exactly. But you can't expect not to get the same thing in return.
That's right.
That's that
Yeah.
that's that's just the nature of racing. It's the
Hmm.
same thing with life. You got to treat others the way that you want to be treated.
Yep.
It's the same exact concept.
Yep.
Nailed it, bud. Well said. Like, absolutely true. All that, everything you just said, and I don't mean to talk over Cam here, but it's just, I relate to that so much in the sense that when you get to race around people that you get to know and you trust, in turn, for the fans in the stands, like when you have that trust with the regulars that you're around, and I mean you have the out of towners that come in once in a while, but I mean it's safe to say when you're kind of in your group on the track, and even when you're like kind of bouncing stuff off each other in the pits, not literally like just chatting and stuff, but like it it makes for a tight knit group, but I don't want to say to everyone watching that everybody's going to be friends, but I mean, if you have that mutual respect amongst your core group of competitors, you're going to race each other how you want to be raced, and it makes for a great product for the fans to see.
Exactly. And what I find is that, if you come into racing and you have a good attitude, you have um you have like, you have respect for others on and off the track, they're going to take notice of that, and they will do anything. Like, they start getting into you, like they start wanting to help you more and get to know you more.
Yeah. Digging
I
your
know
vibe.
like one example is that in 2023 I actually raced for Shake and Bake Motorsports, and that is the team that has Brandon Steele, Nicholas Reese, Greg Duncan was on that team. Really, really another really good group of people that raced there. And I remember getting into my massive accident that season where I slammed into Jack Bird.
I was there for that, actually.
Yeah. I get out of my car. So, well, first of all, after the accident, I found myself just looking around inside my car, and I could see my gauges. So my gauges originally they were held together by zip ties to the roll cage, and so one of those zip ties, they actually broke, and I could actually see my gauges. They were lopsided.
Yeah.
And so I get out of the car and I look at the damage, and I'm like, what just happened? I was like, I need to take a step back because I don't know what we're going to do next. I was totally like unaware of what I was going to do next, because at that time I thought my car was toast.
I thought it was too.
And so I had like eventually my car gets towed into the pits, and I had like a whole bunch of people just surrounding me. Oh, we're gonna do, don't worry, Jordan. We're gonna do whatever it takes to make sure you're back out on that track, and all that stuff. But the guys that really helped were the people that were part of Shake and Bake Motorsports. So I had to take my car all the way to Merwalt and get it straightened out. The frame got straightened out.
The one and only.
The one and only Magic
He's
Merv.
the best.
Yeah,
the Magic Man.
Yep.
But
Sorry to interrupt.
That's okay. But he straightened out that the frame, and then we took it back over to Brandon's, and then Greg was working with them. They had Nicholas Reese, Brandon, of course, and I eventually I don't know how, but they actually managed to get it fixed in time for the next race, because it was like the next race was 2 weeks away, and thankfully the wreck happened when it did, because we probably wouldn't have been racing that if the weekend before, if it ended up that bone stocks were on the schedule.
Yeah.
But I was just so grateful that they got that thing fixed. My car probably wouldn't be at Sunset right now if it wasn't for them. I swear, I thought it was not going to turn a single lap around Sunset ever again.
Yeah, I remember I was in turn 2 for that. Was the first wreck I ever saw at Sunset. It's the first time I ever saw bone stocks at Sunset. It wasn't a great introduction to seeing you get, like, because you and Jack, I think if I'm not mistaken, you guys hit head on. Like, it was, and you don't see that a lot in racing, is like head on crashes like that. But the one thing I will remember about that is there's two things. I remember JJ getting out and being really pissed off and being really angry.
Yeah.
But then I remember you getting out and, like a total badass, you got out and did like this, like, I'm all right to the crowd, and all you hear is the entire crowd start cheering, right? Because you're out, you're just like, yeah, I'm right, I'm good, right? Despite this whole time you're going like, holy shit, my car, right? But you made sure that everybody knew you were all right. Like that, I mean, that in itself, it shows. I mean, the one thing I love, is that when you go out there, man, you're just like emotion first. As soon as you get out of that car when you win, dude, you are celebrating. You are excited. That's too many guys
right there. I love
too many guys that get out there and they just wave the flag. I'm like, no, that I need photos and video. And when you go out there and you're celebrating, I'm like, yes, Yes, that's what I want. Emotion. It means something. You've had
Stage presence.
you had what, like, is it 3, 4, 5 feature wins? How many you have?
Three.
Right.
Three.
3 feature wins.
Yeah.
And you probably could have had a couple more,
Yeah,
especially this last one, right?
exactly.
But so they've all come. So why did you guys pick Sunset? Is it just because of how close it is?
Yes, basically, because
Yeah.
so like we it's the only track that's closest to us, and um we attended there regularly just as fans before
Nice.
I even became a racer, and I was in the pits. I used to go down into the pits, talk to drivers and all that stuff, and actually, like one of the drivers I actually talked to was Austin Jeanette. And so I watched these guys race.
And now you're out there with them.
Like I watched them race when they had their Cavaliers. And
Wow.
yeah, so I've watched I've been technically around them ever since I was a fan, and I actually talked to Austin as a fan as well. And this is of course back when I think he had braces, but he but
yeah, he was just a youngin.
yeah,
Yeah, you're a ripe old age now. Now, if I can ask, how old are you, bud?
I'm 26.
God damn.
Wow.
I'm an old fart.
Yeah, we're both old farts now. Hey, Greg? Jeez. So you gotten out there. You've been in this bone stock division for several seasons. It got really ballooned over the past couple of years. It got lots of cars. You had weekly. Now it's quiet. It's gone down a bit. You guys are having like 9 to 10 cars a week.
Yep.
Is that, do you prefer that? Would you rather a lot more cars? Like what does Jordan Owen like?
Oh, I as long you know what as long as it's a good group of people.
Mhm.
I honestly I could care less if it's a big field or not. But
Yep.
as long as
Quality over quantity, am I right?
yeah, exactly. Because I mean, we basically race out of our own wallets,
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
my dad does help with the cost of racing, but a lot of it, um, my sponsor Craft Automotive Repair Services, helps out with the cost of racing immensely too. The owner, Devin Kraft, he actually used to race at Barry Speedway when it was
Oh,
around.
right on.
Yeah. So we kind of have we kind of have, relations on,
Yeah.
we built like he knew how expensive racing was. And because he was
Yeah.
in it, right? You got a person who owns an auto shop
Mhm.
that has formerly been in racing. And so that is really that was really what helped us out.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we bring the car there, we work on it, get it ready for the beginning of each season, and the car is always left out of that shop a rocket ship. And
It really is.
I can't thank Devin Kraft and all the guys from Kraft Automotive Repair Services enough. But yeah, there's a lot of people that come into this that you'll need to have behind your back if you wish to go racing.
Mhm.
It's not
Good point.
it's a team sport, but with a twist. See, with racing, you're not just two teams on a field fighting over a ball, trying to get it over to the other end of the field or anything like that. You actually have multiple teams, jockeying for position, trying to win the race.
Mhm.
But yeah, it takes a lot of people to come into this to actually help somebody in
Mhm.
this sport.
Yeah.
And
Who are your
it-
people that help you out?
well, I'd like to thank, of course, my mom and my dad. Um, my sponsors are Craft Auto Repair Services, Sign Edge, Ferndale Trim and Doors. Of course, those guys, I work for them. Function and Form. If I haven't mentioned that, that's my mom's company.
Nice.
She's an interior designer, and I'd also like to thank CFR Concrete. They've helped us out this year. But yeah, there's a lot of people that that come in here to help you, and it's even outside of the racing community. It's people like sponsors and everything.
Yeah.
But there's a lot, like, you have to, like, coming into this sport, like, basically a lone wolf. It's kind of it's a huge step, especially if you don't come from a family that doesn't even have a racing background. But yeah,
Definitely.
so my dad had a really my mom also has a big part in it too. I mean, her logo is on that race car every single weekend, and she's always you'll always hear her up in the, like, if she's here, you'll know it, because
Yeah.
anytime anytime I win a race, you'll just hear her absolutely hooping and hollering, woo, just, yeah, Jordan,
Yeah, and this is true. This is true. You can
and
hear her.
she's a really brave woman, though, because my mom, she's like every other mom. She's excited, but she's also scared and nervous at the same time, because
course, yeah.
that's her son out there driving a race car on the track, and, like, anything can happen out there. And so it absolutely, like, her heart is always pumping when I'm out on that track.
Yeah.
And you know what, but it's you're in your, like, mid-20s, and this same kind of thing didn't happen to me till I was past 40, and my mother is that much older, but, like, it's their babies out there, right? And
It's not just your mom that worries, it's your podcast wife too. He worries a lot.
Yeah.
Like, it's everybody, but when they say it takes a village, I mean,
Yeah.
it's the worry, it's the support, it's like a combination of everything that it makes you feel that support. Because if people didn't worry about your well-being, if people didn't fund you to get out there, like, none of this would happen. And I get that now firsthand. I mean, to have people behind you in a sport like this, like you said, it's not just two teams fighting over a ball
A
or
ball.
a puck, whatever
I like that.
you want to say. It's just there's so many moving parts, literally, from the race car to the business side of it, to the family side of it, to the partnership side of it, that it doesn't seem lost on you one bit that that's what it takes to do this.
Yeah, exactly. And it's, it is very challenging, because I thought I'd mention this, but I actually have autism spectrum disorder. And so, see, one of the things that comes with ASD is that usually people with ASD, they have, like, a very straight line form of thinking. I like to think of it as like my mind just travels like a dragster in a straight line. If I see something that I want, I just go for it. It's the same thing. When that
you turn left.
I know, I turn left.
You don't do that on the drag strip, Graydon.
I turn left, but my mind thinks like a dragster. Like,
Gotcha.
like, whenever it sees that Christmas tree light, that Christmas tree turn green, it's gone. There's no going back. The only stopping is when the parachutes pop. But yeah.
So that adjustment to racing,
that
makes it like almost like was it an avenue for you? Like, I mean, we hear about it all the time. Like, have you found that helps? on a weekly basis, like helps keep you because you're focused on one thing kind of the entire day.
I mean, yeah, I
Yeah.
yeah, you can say that. I mean, it's really it keeps me it keeps me focused, you know.
Yeah.
And there's been posts on Facebook saying like there's posts on Facebook like
Yeah.
saying like you can choose racing because you won't have any like you won't have any time for any other addiction of any kind, you know. And it keeps you out of trouble too. Like
It's a
it
good
like
point.
yeah, it keeps
So
you like,
true.
off the streets and everything, you know.
Yeah.
um it's a safe, family friendly type of place to be, and
It,
that's how it's supposed to be. You know, sometimes
yes.
you're gonna have your dramas and your
Yeah.
little scuffles and everything, but it's a family thing. And it's kind of crazy because people that I talk to, I actually recently talked to one of my coworkers, and he's not very familiar with the whole racing thing, and he
Hmm.
asked me, and he's like, "I'm shocked. I thought all of you guys would be like mortal enemies." I'm like, "No, no, 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 no. We're far from it. Far from miles from it." And like we really get along very well.
Yeah.
As long as everyone is like behaves themselves and everything, you know, they don't have like this ego about themselves or
That's
anything, you
true.
know.
Yeah.
Like they're not in racing for themselves and themselves only.
Yeah.
We have an awesome time out on that
Yeah.
racetrack. And
Yeah.
then, you know, we also have like a whole bunch of stories we can tell at the same time. You know, we have something to talk about.
Yeah.
And and that's another thing I like about racing, is that it gives me something to talk about, because
Yeah.
usually like I'm not very a social guy when it comes to other things besides cars or racing. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I
so
know that feeling all too well.
me
I
too.
I literally so I also like it because it puts me in the spotlight, you know.
Yeah.
It's you know, your time to shine. Your time,
Yeah.
you know, like, you know, every single time you win a race, you feel good because you can hear the announcer like, "Your feature winner, Jordan Owen,"
Like
and then
that's
Oh my
cool.
god.
just get to hear all the fans, you know, cheering for you and everything. It's absolutely spectacular. And you
Yeah.
know, I I know that my time, like, you know, trying to get into the Cup Series, you know, is like, you know, it's that's not realistic. I know that I know that that's not really an avenue for me right now, because and I'm okay with that. I'm absolutely okay with that, because as long as I'm in a race car, I'm happy.
Is
As
it
Oh
a
my
bone stock that
god.
you want to stay in, or do you want to go to like a mini stock at some point? Or
like me and my dad, we have been considering moving up to hot rods eventually.
oh yeah.
Yeah, because you know, there's a lot of people are saying it's also it's cheap, but
Hmm.
the cars are much more powerful though and
Yeah.
faster.
Yeah, they are.
Um, I know I've heard like some people that have actually been racing in the bone stocks, like Ben McPherson or Josh Berry, both good competitors on and off the
Yeah.
track. They moved up to hot rods, and my dad absolutely loves those cars.
Yeah.
The body style, you know, the
Who
old late
doesn't?
model style bodies and
So
everything.
Jordan, if you're gonna pick a car that would be your hot rod, what car are you gonna pick? Like what car would you want to drive? I
That's
know
a
this is a loaded question because he knows his cars, so but
uh,
maybe a couple, then not just one.
well, I would either choose, like, you know, a Chevelle, like a Chevy Nova, or maybe a Dodge Charger.
Yes, those are the right
Um,
answers.
I choose or a Camaro,
Yeah,
just a
yeah,
plain old Chevy Camaro.
yeah,
That I love those cars. Like any like really any type of car that has four wheels and goes fast and sounds good while doing it. I love it.
yeah. I think we're in agreements on that. That's definitely true. But you know, we could probably talk for probably more than an hour, honestly. But our show doesn't go that long. So, Jordan, this has been so much fun. That like our time is like flown by, and I feel like we just started. So we're gonna have to have you back on at some point and continue this. But I want to thank you for being part of the Stickers and Scuffs family. It's great. We really appreciate you being a part of it. And Graydon, what do you have to say before we wrap up with Jordan?
Buddy, as you said, it was a long, hot day. We're both tired, and like we're all tired here, and it's just I couldn't thank you enough for the endorsement that you've put out for
Yeah.
our grassroots racing discipline. You carried that for us. Speaking as a racer, I'm going to throw myself in that category now. It's just you just like put it into words what I think I feel all the time. You made my heart beat fast talking about it, and
He was
I
getting a
can't
little
thank you.
emotional, Jordan. I could see him getting a little weepy.
Oh,
He
I
was
know. It's
close.
just some of it's sweat, some of it's like dust in my eyes, maybe. I don't know, but it's
Oh,
just
baloney.
shut it. But honestly, man, like real talk, that's exactly how I feel
Yeah.
about it, and you did a great job articulating it to our audience, and I can't thank you enough for that because that's such a great endorsement for our discipline.
I love it. I love when people share. I love when people, um, are open. We've talked
Yeah,
about mental health stuff. We've talked about
living
autism.
dreams.
This is. I want people to know that there's no boundaries here. You can go in and compete. You can win. You've battled for this championship the last like 3 years, right? And I didn't know that you'd only been doing it for since 20. I thought you've been doing this for like I don't know, like 10 years. But no, it's really not been that long at all. And we're excited. We've got a good feeling about you, and it's definitely it's very appreciated that you rep us on the track, and you doing a great job,
Yeah,
like I
thank
said,
you.
for being ambassador for racing. And that the one thing that's important is I want people to have your enthusiasm, because that's not easy to have.
Hell
It's
yes.
it's not. It's people that have been in it for a long time. I feel like they're worn out, and they don't carry what you carry, which is I'm just excited that I get to be at the track and I get to drive a race car. Like that
Yeah,
very much matches my co-host. Very
It's so
much.
not to talk over our guest, but it's just like it's so hard when you're like for our team at CGC, we're not having like the most storybook season right now, and it's
No.
just we're all getting the team itself is a young team, even though they're full of old retired guys. But um,
I knew you were
it's
gonna say
just
that.
they know it
Sorry,
all.
Pops and Steve.
Oh, I'll just bring them some burgers; they'll be fine. But it's just um we all share that passion, and it's just like it really isn't all rainbows and unicorns. It does go to shit sometimes,
Yeah.
and the perspective is that it's not your livelihood so long as it isn't, um but you keep it fun and really have to see the good in every day of your racing career, and it's just you see the support you have. And as I said, I won't ramble on anymore because Jordan, you put it into words so damn well that just thanks for coming on here and doing that for us, buddy.
yeah, no worries. It's been my pleasure. I absolutely like I've seen other podcasts. I just decided, you know what? I want to join these guys. These guys seem like a really fun couple people to talk to, and I really
We're just
enjoyed
a couple of
everything
dorks
about
who like racing.
Yeah, we're just dorks. That's really what it is. Yeah, but you know what? I'm really happy that you shared with us today, and I love the stories, and and this is what's so fun is the funny thing is, great, is that if you talk to Jordan, uh, it's exactly the same way as he is here right now, is exactly what he's going to be like on Saturday, right? He's revved up, he's
No doubt
ready
it
to
for a
go,
second.
he's he's so much fun. And you know what? I'm excited that other people are going to be able to hear your story today and are on when they listen. And you guys are back. You're back this Saturday, right? At Sunset.
Yes, we are. We don't just have the bone stocks. I think we have the
That's
outlaw
right.
super late models coming. It's
Yep.
going to be an awesome show.
Yes.
You guys,
Yes.
are you guys going to be there?
I'm gonna try. I don't know 100% if I will. Graydon's got limited time this year, so not this makes it sound like he's gonna die. He's got limited races at Sunset this
TikTok,
year.
gotta go.
Jesus. We'll have to cut this out. It's been a long day. We're gonna have we'll have lots of fun if we can make it out there. I'm definitely because they've got juniors on the card. They've got you guys, many stocks. That's a recipe for love right there. Super lates, we'll hopefully see a good amount of guys show up, but definitely make sure you guys tune in and follow Jordan Owen. He's somebody that I think you should cheer with, even because he'll cheer as well when he's out at the racetrack. And thank you, Hot Wheels. Thank you for coming on the show tonight.
Yeah, no problem. It's been a pleasure. Thanks, Cam.
That is Jordan Owen from Sunset Speedway's Junior Haulage Bone Stocks.
Thank you for watching the Stickers and Scuffs podcast. Subscribe, share, and like for more Ontario motorsports content.